every time I find myself saying something positive about Theresa May, 50, 60 other things come up that show just how horrible she really is. Now, there are two stories that were covered in the London Economic, which is, I will leave links to both of them down below, but they are both damning, just absolutely absurd. So the first one I read was Conservatives have, specifically Theresa May, have been covering up and trying to squash claims of sexual assault, sexual indecency, sexual misconduct within their own party. This isn't just men focusing on women. This sexual misconduct is affecting men and women. But there is obviously a bigger demographic of scumbag men focusing on women, trying to use their power to pressure them into doing a lot of other disgusting things. At least 36 cases were squashed by the Conservative Party. Now this is automatically repulsive. If you're not a Conservative, then you can see this as corruption and disgusting actions within a political party that need to be weeded out, because these aren't indicative of a specific party. If you are a Conservative, then you have to be outraged by this, because these people shouldn't represent you. And unfortunately, in the report that was released, it's 11% of Conservatives. Now, that may not be a massive number in terms of percentage-wise, but actual individuals, yeah, that number is atrocious. If this was happening in Labour, it would be constant on BBC and ITV and Sky News. There would be no break, and the headlines would be Corbyn allows sexual misconduct, Corbyn allows rape within Labour. That's what those headlines would be. But when it comes to the Conservatives, it is hushed. It is quietened down and no one bloody speaks of it. And that leads on to something a little bit more disgusting. So, sexual misconduct is the party itself protecting its own, which is atrocious. But the second report came out and specifically named Theresa May and Amber Rudd as suppressing child abuse documents because they were connected to Conservative members of Parliament who were abusing children. Again, if this was Labour, it would be non-stop. From the moment you got up, BBC would be running that. The Prime Minister is protecting people who abuse children. Amber Rudd is protecting people who abuse children. That is not acceptable in any way, shape or form. Again, if you're not Conservative, you should be outraged and disgusted. If you are Conservative, you should be spitting fire, because the Prime Minister is blatantly showing that she will defend and protect any Conservative member of Parliament, regardless of if it's an accusation of sexual assault or child abuse. She will protect them. That is unacceptable. She is not a dictator protecting her dictatorship, protecting one party. She is meant to be the leader of England, of the United Kingdom. the Prime Minister, for God's sake. And yet our Prime Minister is allowing child abuse to happen because it's members of her own party.